Hello guys, today we'll be talking about do's and don'ts when you're writing your Erasmus Mundus SOP or motivation letter. Hello guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Dorothy and thank you so much for joining us today. In today's video, as I've already mentioned, we'll be talking about the do's and don'ts, do's and do nots when you're writing your Erasmus Mundus SOP or motivation letter. I know you're aware of what a motivation letter is and what an SOP is. If you are new to all of these, I'm going to link one of my videos in the description which talks about the motivation letter. So without much ado, let me go straight into what we'll be talking about today. So my first point for today is that you should read the program theme and be sure that you understand what the program is about, the structure and the content. Why is this important? Because when you're writing your motivation letter or your SOP, you need to display or show in your letter that you have an understanding of what the program is about and how it's going to impact into your life. If you do not understand the program, how can you prove that that is what you want to do or that is the career path you want to take? So please make sure to read the program, read the theme, and be sure that you understand all of the information that is presented at the program website. My next point is that you should research your field of interest to complement what is available or presented by the program website. So when you read what is on the program website, make sure you do extra research or extra reading. This is important because whatever that is presented on the website, all other students who will be applying have seen that. But what will make you different is when you write something that is not even in the program website. So you take it to different angles and you are only able to do that when you read extra. My next point is that you should strictly adhere to the word limit and word or page limit. Strictly adhere to the word or page limit. So some programs would say that maybe they are looking for 500 words or one pager SOP or motivation letter. You have to know this. That is why reading the program website is essential, because that is where you get the information about the requirements. What are they looking for? How long should your motivation letter be? If you break or you do not follow the rules in terms of word limits and page limits, it's an instant disqualification because it's part of the requirements. You have to pass the requirements before you are even considered. Do you get me? You have to pass that requirement. And so yes, please make sure you are aware of the page and word limit and make sure you adhere to it because it is very important. So my final point for what you should do when you are writing your SOP or motivation letter is ask for help when you need to. I know sometimes you feel like I want to do it all alone, but then look for somebody who you can trust, who can advise you, who will not coddle you or lie to you. Oh, this work is okay. Look for somebody who will criticize your work, because if your friend is able to find something to criticize, when you are able to solve that, that point will not be visible or will not be seen when you submit your application. If your own friend can see something that is worth criticizing, oh, the way you wrote this sentence, I didn't understand it. It saves you from presenting that for confusion at the selection committee's table. Do you understand what I'm saying? So ask for help when you need. I'm not saying ask somebody to write the motivation letter for you, but write it and let other people review it for you. For me, I had friends who reviewed it. I had my supervisors who reviewed it. I had master students from my department who reviewed it, and even myself, sometimes I write, when I finish writing, I print it out and then I go and sit somewhere quiet and then I make sure I'm reading it like it's not my work, and then I end up cancelling everything and writing again. That is how you should. That is what you should do when you are writing your motivation letter. If you want to win a scholarship, if you're just writing it because, okay, I want to write it, then But if you really want to win a scholarship, then please make sure you ask for help when you need to. Maybe you don't understand a concept, you've read it, you still don't understand it, you can ask your lecturer. That's the thing. Do not put yourself in a bubble that I can do everything on your own. It may be that you can't do it, but then still get that extra security by letting another person review your work for you. Now that we are done with the do's, I'm going to highlight a few don'ts or do nots when you are writing your motivation letter. So the first thing is, do not bore the committee with big grammar. Why am I saying that? Sometimes if you are trying to impress, you want to write the letter in a way that you want to impress them that, oh, you are really versed in the English language. What you tend to actually achieve is getting people confused. Now you want them to understand your story and not get confused by it. So if you make that mistake of writing just big words, placing them together, when they don't make sense together, you end up causing a big problem for yourself, because if they don't understand your story, they don't understand your motivation, they don't understand your essay, they are not going to put you in the consideration pile. So please make sure that you write sentences that are simple. I'm not saying write like on a kindergarten level. Let it be simple, but let them see the maturity in your writing. Do not decide I'm going to prove myself, I'm going to write only big grammar. You just confuse people and then you will not end up getting what you are looking for. So my next point is that do not write anything negative about yourself, about your past. Do not write anything negative. So I know sometimes maybe a negative situation is the reason or your motivation for applying. Maybe you've seen a problem and you want to talk about it. I think you should weigh it from both lenses. Even in a negative situation, you can find the positive. So instead of maybe bashing your past experience, maybe bashing your past institution, bashing past teachers, oh, I was not taught well, I didn't know. Focus on the positive side. Focus on selling yourself. Do not focus on making other people look bad so that you can shine. It's a negative trait, and the selection committee might see that as a toxic trait which do not want to be a part of their program. So just focus on the positive parts. Just be positive from the beginning to the end. I'm saying if there's a negative thing that is causing you or motivating you to push through for this application, make it known in a way that it sounds positive, or find a positive aspect in it. And even if you must write it, don't dwell on it. Don't let it be the focus of your letter. Let it be a part of it, but don't let it be the focus of your letter. You understand? My next point is, do not play the pity game. So the motivation letter is not an avenue for you to share how you have lacked in your entire life and how this program is going to lift you up from penury or poverty and make you into this big person. What the scholarship committee are looking for are people who may come from a bad background but have come out of that victim mentality. No, they don't want that. Somebody who has come out of that and is still striving to make their life better. Do you get me? Instead of focusing on, okay, so I grew up in this poor, and then no, don't play the pity party. This is not empathy. They are not going to say, oh, I empathize with you, okay, so come for the scholarship. No, they are looking for value. So let only value show through your essay. Do not go and say, okay, so my country is a low income country, or I come from a low income household. No, focus on the value that you are. You are valuable. Let them see that instead of what I just said. You understand me? Okay. My next point is, do not repeat your CV. So you might be tempted to write everything. So all your experience, you are rewriting it for the selection committee to have a look at. But then you must consider that they are going to see your CV. So if there's anything you should be focusing on, focus on the things that you could not really write in your CV. For instance, when you're writing your education, you are writing, okay, my bachelor's is here, my high school, I went to this high school. Apologies for the noise in the background. So let's say you're talking about education. You can just say, okay, so I went to this high school, I did my bachelor's here. But you cannot really say, oh, this is what I learned from the program. You are just highlighting your educational background. So your motivation letter is a platform where you can say, okay, so when I was doing this program, this specific course opened my eyes to. Do you get it? When you are talking about your work experience, you can say, okay, these are my duties, but you cannot say what your duties have taught you or what your duties have allowed you to understand. And so your motivation letter is a part where you talk about that, but you are not going to say everything, just the ones that relate to the point you want to make to support your claim that you are the best person to be considered for the position or for the scholarship. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope you really do understand what I'm saying. Don't repeat your CV. Let your CV just focus on what you learned from education, what you received from, and what is the impact in your life.
For my motivation letter, I've not shared this with you yet. For my motivation letter, what I highlighted was what I have learned. Do you get me? What I have learned. So in terms of my introduction, as a student of archaeology, how does my program link to this program? It's about materials. As an archaeologist, we're looking at cultural materials. So I started my essay with talking about cultural materials, even the discussion on cultural materials and how they're impactful for this particular program, which is focused on understanding of scientifically studying material culture, how just not knowing about them and studying them can be linked. Displays my knowledge. Do you get me? Are you understanding me? You can show your motivation is supposed to showcase what you've learned. I'm not saying come and write like an essay for school, but let them know that you truly know. And how did you know? Because I learned it. I hope you get it.
My final point for the do not is, please never ever plagiarize your motivation letter. Never ever plagiarize your motivation letter. Please, let everything be authentic from you. Your story is not the same as somebody's story. So let that story, that unique story, the story that makes you, let that show through your work. And I believe strongly that if you're able to do all of this, you're going to win that scholarship that you are looking at. Do the do's and do not do the do nots. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned a lot. That is my whole aim for all of my videos, is to make sure that you learn something, you take something. Any of the tips that really resonates with you, you can write it in the comment section and write why you believe this is the best. And I'll give you a shout out in one of my videos if you're able to do that. Thank you so much for watching again and have an amazing day. Take care.